بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأمين. Dear students, this is Get Ready 6. Get Ready 6. صف السادس. Get Ready 6. Would you please open your books? Okay. Let's remember what we did yesterday. Okay? Or what we did in the previous lesson. Do you remember the animals? What did we say about the animals? How did we describe the animals? How did we describe the animals? Okay. Open your books on workbook on page 77 to answer this question with you, to remember some sentences about the animals. Okay, here. This is an elephant. What did we say about the elephant? We said an elephant is the biggest of the animals. Okay, what about the giraffe? Do you remember what did we say about the giraffe? Okay. We said that the giraffe is the tallest. Is the tallest of all animals. Okay, would you please write with me? Okay, so an elephant is the biggest of all animals. A giraffe is the tallest of all animals. A cheetah. What about the cheetah? The cheetah is the fastest of all animals. Yes. So the cheetah is the fastest of all animals. What about a kangaroo? Jumps. A kangaroo jumps. What about his jumps? The highest. Okay. So an elephant is the biggest. This is the superlative adjective that we use to describe the elephant. An elephant is the biggest. We use the adjective big. And a giraffe is the tallest. The adjective is tall, the tallest of all animals. A cheetah is the fastest of all animals. A kangaroo jumps the highest. Okay? All right. Let's start our lesson today. Today we have Unit 6, Lesson 1. Would you please open your books on page 36 to start our lesson? Today we are going to talk about our families and especially my grandfather. We are going to talk about grandfathers. Today, inshallah, we are going to ask about family members and their jobs, and we are going to draw and write your family tree. Okay, at the end of the lesson you will be able to draw your family tree, starting with your father and your grandmother and your grandfather. Let's read these questions first before we start. Who is this? What did he or she do? See, the question is in the past. What did he or she do? Okay, so here the boys are talking about his grandfather. Tom is asking Ali about his grandfather, about the past of the grandfather. So here the questions will be in the past because this is talking about something happened in the past. What did he or she do? Where did he or she live? Where did he or she work? Do you know about your grandfathers and grandmothers? Where did they live or what did they do? Do you know? Okay, let's start. Okay, let's go to exercise number 1. I want you to listen to the conversation between the two boys. Here we have some vocabulary or some words that you are going to hear during this conversation. The first one, brother, and some you will not hear. We will find some of these words during the conversation and some of them are not there. The first one, brother. 2, doctor. This is a job. Fisherman. It's also a job. Grandfather, big, the opposite of small. Work, the job. Old, the opposite of new. Sea, this is the sea. Village, it's not a city, it's a very small village. Village is smaller than a city, okay? And villages occurs outside cities. You can find villages when you go outside your city, you will see villages. So the village is smaller than the city. Okay, I want you to listen now to the audio. Okay.
Unit 6. My grandfather. Lesson 1. Activity 1. Listen, read, and number.
Who's that in the photo? It's my grandfather. That's your grandfather? Yes, sir. No, it's my mother's father. He was called Majid. Oh, the same as your brother? Yes, that's right. What did he do? He was a fisherman. He lived in a small village. The village was near the sea. Wow! Where did he work? He worked on a boat. But you live here. Yes, my grandfather moved to the city to work.
Okay, again, let's hear the conversation again.
Unit 6. My grandfather. Lesson 1. Activity 1. Listen, read, and number.
Who's that in the photo? It's my grandfather. That's your grandfather? Yes, sir. No, it's my mother's father. He was called Majid. Oh, the same as your brother? Yes, that's right. What did he do? He was a fisherman. He lived in a small village. The village was near the sea. Wow! Where did he work? He worked on a boat. But you live here. Yes, my grandfather moved to the city to work.
Okay, so we heard some of these words: brother, fisherman, grandfather, work, sea, village. But we didn't hear the word old or the word big or the word doctor. Okay, so his father was a fisherman. Okay, he was a fisherman. He worked as a fisherman. Okay, where did he live? He lived in a small village. Okay, all right, let's move to the other exercise. Exercise number 2. It says to you, listen and say. I want you to listen and say
Unit 6.
the question.
Lesson 1. Activity 2. Listen and say. 1. This is my grandfather. 2. What did he do? 3. He was a fisherman. 4. He lived in a small village. 5. Where did he work? 6. He worked on a boat.
Okay, so here if you can see all these questions and answers all in the past. All in the past. Worked, the verb is in the past. Where did, because you are asking about something happened in the past. And lived also in the past. Was, the past of is. And also again here, what did is the question here is in the past. Now let's do a family tree with you. We are going here to finish the girls' family tree. We are going to listen to, and you can do it at your home, your family tree. So listen to her family tree.
Unit 6.
Let's do it together.
Lesson 1. Activity 3. Listen, read, and write.
Look, this is my family tree. Right. This is you and your brother. Yes, that's right. And this is my father, Mohammed, and my mother, Fatima. Who's this? It's my mother's sister, my aunt. Your aunt? What's her name? Her name's Maha. So this is your grandfather? Yes, that's right. His name was Majid, the same as your brother. And what was his wife called? My grandmother's name was Wafa.
Okay, so this is the grandmother. This is the grandmother. Okay, so this is the grandmother. Again, let's listen again.
Unit 6. Lesson 1.
Would you please bring a sheet of paper and make your family tree? Try to have an example here, to follow the example here. So here we have a family tree starting with the grandfather and grandmother. Okay, let's go.
Activity 3. Listen, read, and write.
Look, this is my family tree. Right. This is you and your brother. Yes, that's right. And this is my
So here we have brother. Okay, here we have brother. Brother. Okay. All right.
Father, Mohammed, and my mother, Fatima.
Okay, so Muhammad is the father. Muhammad is the father. Okay. So this is the father. Okay. You can make now your family tree with me, please. Okay.
Who's this? It's my mother's sister, my aunt. And this is my father, Mohammed, and my mother, Fatima.
Okay, so this is the mother. Okay. This is the mother. Okay, so father, grandmother, brother, and Fatima is the mother. All right.
Who's this? It's my mother's sister, my aunt. Your aunt? What's her name? Her name's Maha. So this is your grandfather? Yes, that's right. His name was Majid, the same as your brother. And what was his wife called? My grandmother's name was Wafa.
Okay. So it's done now. You can make your family tree now. Here we have the sister and the brother. Of course, Majid is the brother here, okay? And he was named after his grandfather, Majid. So here we have the grandmother, grandfather. You can start the family tree and then go down. We have the father, the mother, and the aunt here. The grandfather is Fatma's father. Okay, and you finish with the sisters and with the brothers. Very good. Okay. Okay, let's go now to the, as we said, this was in the past tense, the past simple. He was a fisherman. So it means that we did something in the past. This is So we are talking about something in the past, and worked, it's in the past. Work, the form, the base form becomes worked when we talk about the past, and is becomes was when we talk about the past. Okay? So all these words, sentences are in the past. Let's move to the exercise here. Listen, read, and circle true or false about the grandfather, Majid. Okay? Now let's listen and decide if the sentences are true or
Unit
false.
6, Lesson 1, Activity 4. Listen, read, and circle true or false.
Tell me about your grandfather, please. His name was Majid, and he lived a long time ago. He was born in a small village, and he lived there in a small house. There wasn't school then, so he helped his father. What did his father do? His father was a fisherman. The same job as your grandfather. Yes, that's right. He liked his job, but he wanted to go to the city. So the family all moved, and my grandfather started a new job. He worked in the market. Where is he now? He died 3 years ago. My mother was very unhappy. She cried for a long time. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. He was a nice man. I liked
Okay.
him.
Okay, so number 1, Ali's grandfather was called Majid. Yes.
Unit 6, Lesson 1, Activity 4. Listen, read, and circle true or false.
Tell me about your grandfather, please. His name was Majid, and he lived a long time ago. He was born in a small village, and he lived there in a small house. There wasn't school then, so he helped his father. What did his father do? His father was a fisherman. The same job as your grandfather. Yes, that's right. He liked his job, but he wanted to go to the city. So the family all moved, and my grandfather started a new job. He worked in the market. Where is he now? He died 3 years ago. My mother was very unhappy. She cried for a long time. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. He was a nice man. I liked him.
He worked as a fisherman? Yes. He lived in a big house? No. He was born in a city? No. And he was called Majid? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's move to... I want to do this with you now. Let's try to answer the question here. To finish the sentences. This is my grandfather, Majid. He was born a long time ago and in a small village near the sea. Yes, and lived in a small village. And lived in a small village. Okay, would you please answer the question with me? Lived. Okay. His father was a fisherman, and what did he with his father? He helped his father with his boat. He to go to the city and find a new job. He wanted to go to the city. My mother was born and the family to the city moved. They moved to the city. Okay. In the city, a new job. He started. When you have a new job, so you start a new job. He started a new job, and in the market, he worked in the market. 3 years ago, he died. 3 years ago, Okay, he died 3 years ago. My mother was unhappy. She cried a lot, and this is in the past. This happened in the past. Okay, don't forget all these verbs. All these verbs describes something happened in the past. Okay, so he lived in a small village. He helped his father with the boat. He wanted to go to the city and to start to find a new job. The family moved to the city. He started a new job. He worked in the market. He died 3 years ago, and my mother cried a lot. Okay, all right. So don't forget to write all these verbs talking about the past. Now you can describe your grandmother or your grandfather, and please go to the workbook, page 70, page 79, and answer these questions, please. Okay, let's start. Number 1 with you. Her family moved to the city. Which one of these pictures describing the moving of the family is C? And you can do the same with the others, okay? That was our lesson today, talking about your grandfather, your grandmother's past. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a good day.